Will council please come to order, and will the clerk please call the roll?
Anderson?
Present.
Oliver?
Here.
Ford?
Here.
Hager-Smith?
Here.
Mattingly?
Here.
Sutphen?
Here.
Watson?
Present.
Will the Vice Mayor please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll begin this evening with our consent agenda, and we have several items there. Approval of Town Council minutes for January 14 and 21. A CUP 24-4, a request to permit lighting at a public park or field at 2100 Toms Creek Road. An ordinance, we're going to schedule a public hearing for March 11th on that item. Ordinance 2070, an ordinance to amend Town Code Sections 5-701 of the subdivision ordinance pertaining to construction and design of sanitary sewer. We'll also consider that on March 11th. Ordinance 2071 to amend Town Code 12-309 to lower speed limits on certain town streets, scheduling that for March 11th. What is council's pleasure on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Oliver?
Aye.
Ford?
Aye.
Hager-Smith?
Aye.
Mattingly?
Aye.
Sutphen?
Aye.
Watson?
Aye.
Anderson?
Aye.
Moving on to public hearings. They had been scheduled for this evening, but items under this heading have been postponed, and I'll describe what they are. Ordinance 2063, vacating approximately 2,000 square feet of town-owned alley right-of-way between the 800 block of Cabrich Street and the 900 block of Progress Street Northwest. Item B is Ordinance 2062, rezoning 2.88 acres of land at 801 North Main Street, 800 block of Cabrich Street, 100 block of Winston Avenue, and 900 block of Progress Street from general commercial and R5 transitional residential district to planned residential district zoning. And finally, item C, CUP 24-3, a conditional use permit request to use an alley for non-single unit residential dwellings. And we will consider those three together on March 11th. And so we want to take action postponing these three items.
I move that we reschedule Ordinance 2063, Ordinance 2062, and CUP 23 for the March 11th, 2025 public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ford?
Aye.
Hager-Smith?
Aye.
Mattingly?
Aye.
Sutphen?
Aye.
Watson?
Aye.
Anderson?
Aye.
Oliver?
Aye.
Moving on to Ordinance 2072, and this is authorizing the town manager to enter into a regional tourism agreement. And we're going to begin with a staff presentation.
And Deputy County Administrator Chris Lawrence will have the staff presentation.
It's oldies.
We let him come back for one night.
Yeah, it's oldies night at council chambers.
And the best night to come back on. As Mark said, I'm Chris Lawrence, the Deputy County Administrator for Montgomery County, but my interim role is the Executive Director for our Montgomery County Regional Tourism Office. What is before you is the agreement between the three localities, the two towns with Christiansburg, Blacksburg, and the county. If you go to the next slide, that's our partnership. It's constructed with a agreement. That agreement on the next slide touches on just the things that agreements need: purpose, oversight, how we're going to be managed, how we're funded, the duration. If there is a termination, how do you do that? And then there are advisory groups. We have a Montgomery County Tourism Advisory Group that each locality appoints. We also have a Sports Tourism Advisory Group, which is the Parks and Rec directors, and then we have the Tourism Operating Board, which is the two town managers and the county administrator. Christiansburg did approve the agreement back in December. The county approved it last month in January, and you're the last one before you tonight. And then just a big thank you. We have enjoyed the office over at the old Blacksburg Police Office. It's given us a nice space to use. And we also appreciate just the support kind of moving us forward. Tourism is very important in Montgomery County. It's over $279 million a year of direct spending. So it's very important to our businesses and drives a lot of traffic through hotels and restaurants and lots of business. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
You have questions?
Great, thanks.
Thank you. I will invite members of the public to come up and speak on this topic at this time if they would like to. Okay, seeing no one. What is council's pleasure on ordinance 2072?
I move for approval of ordinance 2072.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have discussion? Nope. We've discussed it quite a lot. Nice work. Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Hager-Smith,
Aye.
Mattingly,
Aye.
Sutphen,
Aye.
Watson,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Colliver,
Aye.
Ford.
Aye.
Moving on to ordinance 2074, authorizing the acceptance of real property located at 2700 Meadowbrook Drive and the subsequent lease of the property.
And County Attorney Larry Spencer will cover that item.
This is the last step in from a 2003 agreement between the Friends of the Huckleberry and the town. Back in 2003 in this agreement, got a copy of it here. The Friends purchased a 20-acre tract abutting the Jefferson National Forest. That tract was subdivided. 15 acres of it were given to the town by the Friends. The town made some financial contribution, but and that's been able to provide access to the Gateway Trail and other recreational opportunities. Since then, the Friends were working on paying off the debt associated with the remaining 5 acres. They recently have done that, and they're in a position to now give that 5-acre parcel to the town free and clear of any mortgage or deed of trust. So the first action is to take them up on that offer and authorize the acceptance of the property. Part 2, the Friends would like, and it's part of this action, that they would want the town to lease back the property, the 5-acre property. It has a single-family home on it. With the money from that rental, the Friends can generally raise funds and accumulate funds to do the things that they do as far as supporting the local trail system, including the Huckleberry. So it's 2 steps: accept it and then lease it back for a 5-year lease. And that also gives the town a little bit of time to determine what the town would want to do with that in the long term. It could be a retirement home for the manager. We don't know. So that's it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Is there public comment on this topic? Acquiring some property
After this.
on Meadowbrook Drive. Okay.
I think that
Start with your...
what up, town council? My name is Zachary Weiss. I live at 1003 South Main Street. Good job, you're getting property. Woo! I'm trying to do that too. Well, almost. My only concern is logging. Please don't do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to ordinance 2074? Seeing no one, we will...
Councilman Ford has a reading.
Oh, sorry.
A statement of complete disqualification. The Virginia State and Local Government Conflict of Interest Act requires that I make disclosure to be recorded in town records in any case in which I am forbidden to participate. Therefore, I make the following disclosure. The transaction involved is authorization of the acceptance of a parcel located at 2700 Meadowbrook Drive from the Friends of the Huckleberry, Inc., with a lease back to the Friends of the Huckleberry for 5 years, Ordinance 2074. My personal interest affected by this transaction is as follows. My spouse is the president of the Friends of the Huckleberry, which would benefit from additional funding for trail projects if the lease of the land is approved. However, my spouse serves as an unpaid volunteer. The town attorney has advised me that I do not have a personal interest in this transaction, but to avoid any appearance of impropriety, I am disqualifying myself. I affirmatively state that I will not vote or in any manner act on behalf of the town council regarding the acceptance of land approved.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion?
I can,
But we haven't got the motion yet? Okay.
I move that we approve ordinance 2074.
Second.
Now, discussion. Do we have discussion?
I just want to thank the Friends of the Huckleberry for all they've done over the years for our community.
Indeed. Okay. If that's the end of it, then will the clerk please call the roll?
Mattingly,
Aye.
Sutphen,
Aye.
Watson,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Oliver,
Aye.
Ford.
Abstain.
Did we call me?
Hager-Smith.
Aye. So I lost my place in this too. Okay. Moving on now to citizen comments. And I invite you to come forward and start with your name and your address. And the little stoplight will give you 3 minutes to speak on any topic.
Good evening. My name is Renee Coolman. I reside at 500 Stonegate Drive at the intersection of Cambridge and Stonegate. So I want to come up again like I did last time and talk about the proposed development at 801 North Main Street. And I want to thank Mr. Watson for organizing a great discussion at the library. There were about 50 people there. And I thought it was a really good exchange of folks sharing their concerns about parking, the feeling that is excessively high. I think most people there realize that development is going to happen and are accepting of more density. I think there was a lot of concerns that were raised about how is this going to help the housing of all. I thought one of the most eloquent people who spoke was a gentleman who must have been in his late 70s, early 80s, who was talking about the need for creating housing and a place that was welcoming to all ages. So whether it was a toddler walking or whether it was him trying to ride his bike to and from work. So I just want to thank you for organizing that. I thought it was a really frank exchange, and I thought it was very productive in terms of getting a lot of feelings out there. As my son would say, there was a lot of big feelings in the room. So I know that you all have a work session coming up, so we really encourage you all to look again at the traffic and the height. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Good evening. My name is Dietrich Lindy. I reside at 504 Allegheny Street, up Clay Street, and there's Allegheny. I want to speak about Ordinance 2071, which I understand is coming up during the March 11th council meeting. Specifically, and I'm not sure, again, the timing of how all of this works, but the comments I want to put before you are that specifically in Section 12-309 under Section B, and again, I could be misunderstanding how this is to be, but there is a section in there that says there shall be a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit on the following streets, and specifically, I believe Allegheny Street is outlined from Allegheny to Roanoke Street, or from Allegheny Street from Roanoke to Lee Street. My request to you all is that you consider just continuing that 15-mile-an-hour speed limit all the way through Allegheny Street. If you've ever gone up Clay Street and taken a right onto Allegheny, it is a quite small road, and there's a lot of pedestrian traffic. And it's one of the things that makes that street excellent. It's not a problem of the street that it's small. It's what makes it so good. And then there's a tight turn, and then my house is just past there. I have a 10-month-old. I have a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old. We walk the street daily. And I think one of the great things about Blacksburg is its walkability, right? We're not driver-centric. Me and my 2 sons, we walk regularly down from Allegheny Street to the cellar to get food on Friday nights and all of that. Again, so I just want to consider and urge you to just having that proposal carry all the way through Allegheny Street. At the very least, it could go from Clay Street to Nob Hill, at least extend it that far. I believe that's to the east, south. So that's my request to you guys. Looking at 1207, what is that? 2071, section 12-309B, Allegheny Street, 15 mile an hour. At least lower it from the 25 that it is now. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a way to get that back to?
Yeah, we'll look at it.
Yeah,
We're talking about that at the work session next week. Yeah, so
Okay.
we can look at that and then discuss it next week.
It seems good timing, yeah, to talk about that.
The PowerPoint that I emailed?
I don't have a PowerPoint.
What up, Town Council? My name's Zachary Weiss, and I live at 1003 South Main Street. So, tax season is coming up, and I know that everyone's been working on that very diligently. I know also we have a new president who's been doing a lot of crazy things, whatever. That's just in the background. You guys are very busy with the goings-on of Blacksburg. So I'm going to just talk about the things that I want to talk about from the PowerPoint that I wish we could view. So the federal budget is $4.4 trillion, and that comes from a lot of different things. Blacksburg is much lower. It's $105.3 million. That's a 2025 budget. You can shake your heads if that's wrong. We have a lot of things that go into other, like $6.2 million. That's pretty descriptive. Just from your own documents, I don't know, maybe you should describe that a little bit more. But Virginia has a lot more, actually. It's over $69 billion is the annual budget for Virginia. And I've just, noticing the Capitol Police in Richmond is $17 million a year. Blacksburg is like 11. So just thinking about the difference between Blacksburg and Richmond there. There's also for some reason, there's a Virginia-Israel Advisory Board, which is $244,000 a year, which I don't really understand why that exists for Israel, but not like every other country in the world. Just, why? And that's a yearly budget. So the $69 billion is just the general fund, but the non-general fund is $119 billion. So make that make sense. The federal budget has, I'll just go down, the top is 19.5% federal defense, and then Medicare is 17.5%, and Social Security is 14.2%. Health, whatever that is 11.7%, and net interest is 9.1%. Unreported data is 5.7%. But you know what's crazy? Education is 0.3% of the federal budget. Why am I paying taxes? It's not to help people. If I say that I shouldn't pay taxes, like some people in the past who have protested, I would get sent with a $5,000 every single time frivolous filing with the IRS. Please, I beg you guys, talk to the IRS people that you know, and please lobby them. There have been bills that go to ELO hell that don't let people be conscientious objectors for war. Now, I'm all for paying taxes and helping people, but I don't think that we should be paying our taxes.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak during citizen comment? Seeing no one, we will move on to unfinished business. We have unfinished business? We have new business.
I believe we have one item of new business, and that is Resolution 2A25, a resolution of public censure, which I will now summarize. This resolution, which we've discussed previously at our work sessions, highlights the importance of the Town Council Handbook and outlines several instances where the Town Council Handbook was not followed by a member of this council, Liam Watson. Those three examples that we provided are, one, making disparaging remarks about the emergency medical services cost recovery ordinance that we had, including things like sending out a press release that stated that it was wildly irresponsible for the council to approve this ordinance, and also sharing misleading information about that ordinance. Section 2 involves engaging in outreach to our federal officials outside of our established parameters. Our Town Council Handbook is clear on that and says that all correspondence be clear whether you're representing your personal interests or the interests of the town. And the third section talks about using the town letterhead and logo for personal initiatives, despite prior discussions about that, most recently in a letter that went out to federal officials about mail delays. And then the resolution once again references the section in our town handbook about how our correspondence is supposed to work. And then I guess I'll just read kind of the ending statement, which says, "Now therefore be it resolved by the Blacksburg Town Council that Councilmember Liam Watson is hereby formally censured for his actions. Be it further resolved that the Blacksburg Town Council reserves the right to take further action, including the removal of Councilmember Watson's council-appointed committee and board assignments should similar violations occur in the future." So that's kind of a summary of the resolution, and with that, I would make a motion that we approve Resolution 2A25, a resolution of public censure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
It is disappointing that my fellow council members have brought a resolution to censure me for simply doing what I have always done since taking office, that is, passionately representing my constituents. Our disagreements strengthen our democratic body, while resolutions such as these, on the other hand, weaken it. Therefore, while I wholeheartedly disagree with this resolution before us, I intend to abstain. It is my hope that after the final vote is taken, whatever the outcome, that we can resume our work for the people of Blacksburg.
Is there anyone else who would like to weigh in? Nope. Okay. If that's the end of discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Aye.
Watson,
Present. Abstain.
Anderson,
Aye.
Oliver. Aye. Ford,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Mattingly.
Aye.
And with, let's see, do we have any council announcements?
I have a couple. I just wanted to let people know that we some of the council members did go to the Virginia Municipal League's annual Government Day back on January 30th. We had a really good meeting with Senator Hackworth's aide, and we actually got to speak with Delegate Chris Obenchain, and we had a wonderful conversation with him. Susan Mattingly was able to go, Jerry Ford and I, and our town attorney Larry Spencer. And again, we learned a lot, and we passed along a lot of information about things important to Blacksburg. So I felt it was a very, very worthwhile trip. And the other thing I would like to remind people is that our next night meeting where we are voting on ordinances that involve public hearings is March 11th. We will meet again for our night meeting on February 25th. We take citizen comments on February 25th as well as on March 11th. And I'm bringing this up because March 11th is not only Virginia Tech's spring break, but this year it's the Montgomery County Public School System's break. And so if anyone out there is thinking about wanting to come to our public hearings on March 11th, and if you'll be out of town, please consider coming February 25th and speaking during citizen comments or emailing us. You can reach every single one of us up here on the dais at towncouncil@blacksburg.gov. Again, one email will get to all of us. You can call us, you can email us individually. But again, just think about if you are not going to be in town on March 11th and you want to let us know about something that we're going to be voting on March 11th.
Very timely, thank you. Does anybody else have a council announcement? Okay, we are adjourned.